You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
One shot of Fireball deep and $100 in baseball bets placed. It's a nation vacation. Let's get into it with the lead. Got to make sure those don't blow away because it is a windy one out here.
It's a windy one in Vegas today, but it's hot as well, so the wind is welcomed.
Yeah, it is a warm one here. Welcome into Oilers Nation Everyday, a nation vacation edition of the show. We've taken the Sports Closet studio on the road. Shout out to our friends over at the Sports Closet. From jerseys to hats to the legendary foam finger, you'll find it all and more at the Sports Closet, 3 locations in the Edmonton area. The show, as always, a presentation of Bet365. Download the app today. Use the promo code NATION. Whatever the moment, it is never ordinary at Bet365. No Liam yet. He's going to join us a little bit later on in the show from back at Edmonton. But here in beautiful Las Vegas, Jay, it doesn't get any better than doing a show from Circa Stadium Swim.
You know, I've seen photos of this place, and I've been admiring it from afar.
Yeah, you weren't here for the draft.
I was not here for the draft, and wow, did it live up to its expectations.
So we had a pool day yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. Just buckets of beers, sitting in the water. The pools are like so nice and heated,
Nice and heated. March Madness bets.
Yeah, sweating out Auburn and Michigan State.
Trying to cheer on Scotty to come back and win the tournament. We're watching like 900 sports at once.
Yeah, it was
an overload. I had to sit back from the group to properly be able to digest what the heck was going on here.
It's great because AB.
I've never stayed on Fremont before. This is incredible. This hotel is awesome, dude. This whole setup in here, that's the biggest escalator I've ever been on.
Yeah, it's bigger.
We're so high up in the air right now.
Yeah, we're on like the 7th, 8th floor of the hotel.
Yeah, we high.
We're up here. Anyways, the first day of the nation vacation was great. We're probably going to do like a really, really big nation vacation recap on Real Life a little bit later on this afternoon. We do have some hockey talk to get to and all that. Also, it is just crazy. Like, there are truly always sports on. Like, these TVs behind us here, they can change the configuration of them to show different things and whatnot. But like, there's 2 baseball games on. There's tennis on. It's absolutely.
It was 8 a.m. when I looked out my window. I overlooked the stadium swim flex. And sports were on.
The TVs were on at 4 a.m. They're just playing Sports Center on this thing.
Yeah.
Also, was I up at 4 a.m.? Yes, I was.
Wow, you had a night.
Oh, I did.
He's one of the only ones who did. I think the fact that we flew when we did, everyone was kind of petering out a little bit. We had our meet and greet though at the Overhang Bar once again. Shout out to Circa.
That was great. It was good. That was such a good hang just because it was good for the group, but then also other Nation citizens that were in Vegas that came and joined us.
Yeah.
Like there's that crew from Australia.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
They're great. Adam says Fremont Street is the only place I stay now. Honestly,
I get it. I'm in.
The showers as well. Maybe that's a real life.
Dude, the showers.
Yeah, so good.
It's right now, MVP of the trip is the showers at the Circa Hotel. The rooms are nice, but man, that shower, like I said this morning in the group chat, if I could marry a shower, I would marry this one. And anything's really possible in Vegas. As long as Elvis is our justice of the peace.
All right, YouTube chat popping for our friends at Odd Company and the Nation Beer Everyday Lager, a crisp, clean lager crafted not just for game day, but for every day. Check them out, 2 locations in Edmonton.
Could use one right now.
Yeah, I could use one right now. Nathan is in, man. I wish I was there. I'm coming next year. Absolutely. You got to come on Nation vacation.
And we're going to stay here again. I just think this is home base.
Yeah.
This is I love the hockey aspect of coming to Vegas to watch hockey games. That's great. I'm a little bit over Vegas, but this has been reinvigorating. Fremont, everything. We went to the Strip last night because obviously we had to go to Taco Bell Cantina.
And we ate a lot
of tacos. We went there, and it was so good. Cantina delivered. It was a vibe. The food was good, and I was able to get a beer with my tacos. Those are the things I want. But then, getting out into the madness of the Strip again, where we're trying to go and find the plastic ponies, I'm like, man, this is so intense.
Yeah, we didn't end up finding them, which was very sad.
Well, we did find them, but they're a little broken.
Yeah. Mistaken Mexican. What's the rule on Nation Vacation? 1 before 10 or 10 before 1?
Well, shout out to the Sapenkos. They made custom bracelets for everyone that say 1 before 10 and 10 before 1. And I was out this morning. I had to take a phone call, so I'm walking around Fremont. And I came back into the lobby at, I don't know, it was like 8:50. Mainlander Tim, Lindsay, just sitting there. What does Lindsay do immediately? I totally forgot. She throws me a fireball shot, got my one in before 10.
We did it together.
Yesterday was kind of fun because we got to the airport at like 5 or whatever, right? Because the flight was so early. Everyone got their one before 10 and super early. But then I think everyone also got their 10 before 1 in.
Well, yeah, because then like you go through the flight, you have a beer or two at the airport. Some people had 3 beers on the plane, not naming names, but they're on this show. And it's not me or Jay. And then when you land at 9, you're kind of just like ready to go, right? Especially when you sit in the airport and then baggage, all that stuff. So you're so ready to go that everyone kind of like hit the ground running.
Yeah.
And I think everyone kind of needed like a little reset at 3 o'clock to like, hey, rest up a little, whatever.
Yeah.
But we had a good night. We'll talk about it more on Real Life. First show since the Saturday BOA. So I want to get into that a little bit. Let's do a little game recap for our friends at Charm Diamond Centers. You can check them out online, charmdiamondcenters.com. They have been Canadian owned and operated for more than 30 years, and you can get a custom ring built and delivered in less than a month through Charm and the Masterpiece program. Jay, a Saturday night BOA that didn't start great for the Edmonton Oilers. 4.5 minutes in, Yegor Sharangovich finds the back of the net. Edmonton was kind of feeling their way into this game a little bit. There really wasn't a lot of momentum. And then in the second period, just a beautiful play by Leon Draisaitl to set up Victor Arvidsson, who fires one in. We are going to talk a lot of Leon in the show because I got some numbers to give the people. But Victor Arvidsson, that one-timer.
That's Victor Arvidsson.
Like, you see that, and it's like, man, just a little bit of consistency out of him, and no one is complaining one bit about that contract.
I lost you.
Oh, okay, well. Victor Arvidsson, thoughts? No, I can't actually.
No.
We're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I think everybody in the chat can still hear me. That is correct. Everyone in the chat can still hear me. I think everyone in the chat can still hear everyone. We're going to swap out Jay's headset, though. That was really, really weird. Everything was.
We're retooling on the fly, folks.
You are back, and you are.
I am back, and I am loud. I am reverberating. Come now.
Yeah, this was just your headset, right, Aaron? Oh, yeah, we're good. Thumbs up. Everyone's saying good in the chat. Anyways, Victor Arvidsson, that little bit of consistency, like that is such a big thing. Like obviously, when we're talking and projecting for a playoff run, we talk a lot health and whatever, and like those are definitely X factors for the Edmonton Oilers. But getting a guy like Victor Arvidsson going is also so important.
So crucial. Well, we made some bets this offseason. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
We decided to. There we go. It unplugged, of course. Classic case.
Oh.
Yeah, headphones need to be plugged into work. We're learning on the fly here.
It's our first time ever.
We made some bets saying bye to Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg and bringing in Jeff Skinner and Victor Arvidsson. And on paper, this summer, we were excited about this. And we had some slow starts from both. And now that Skinner's figuring it out, and now he's being an impact. And Arvidsson was always kind of the one that was driving me the most crazy because you just remember Victor Arvidsson as that guy that played in Nashville.
30-goal
that was a weapon.
Checks all these boxes,
Yes, and it wasn't hitting. And then he goes to Four Nations, and he's getting healthy scratched or threatened to be healthy scratched. And you're like, what is going on? So I hope this is just something where we know he's fighting a back situation, and I'm just hoping this is just him kind of just coming back to form. For me, it's all about timing. Like, whatever this regular season is, it is. I'm living in the theory that this is what allows me to go to sleep at night. That they're just going to wake up for the playoffs and they're just waiting for it. Like, everything's going to change. Connor's going to be Connor. Leon will definitely be Leon. He's already showing us that. And guys like Arvidsson, Skinner, and everyone else will just be back. And, now we mean business.
Yeah.
So that was really reassuring. And that was an important goal, because that game could have easily gone off the rails because we were kind of just sitting back.
Well, and another reason it didn't go off the rails was, I think there was a stretch, if they would have scored on their third or fourth shot of the game, there was a stretch where Calvin Pickard stopped about 20 consecutive shots.
Yes.
And
Cal was our pal.
Yeah, and there were some legitimate question marks, and I do think maybe some people, like I wasn't against the idea of starting Olivier Rodrigue. I felt like the people who were going online saying the Oilers were stupid for not starting Ollie Rodrigue were maybe taking things a bridge too far, because again, the thing with Calvin Pickard is that he is a low ceiling, high floor backup. You generally know, not to say he never has a bad game, but you generally know what you're going to get from Calvin Pickard on a game-to-game basis. .899 save percentage now, on the season. And I know he wasn't great against the Seattle Kraken, but again,
He started good against Seattle.
Yeah, and he did. Calvin Pickard, you know what you're going to get. And when you're playing a team that struggles to score like Calgary, I think going with the guy who you know what you're going to get out of him is probably the smart play. So again, wasn't against the idea of Rodrigue.
Well, and we really needed to win that game. We've been sliding. And so you got to play, you got to make that educated bet in terms of like you put in the established NHL goaltender in a game that we have to win. We can't, it's not an experiment game.
Yeah. And like, again,
If we're on a 3-4 game heater, then sure.
That was also massive too, because like, listen, I was never someone who was hitting the panic button going, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to make the playoffs. But you lose that game in regulation to Calgary. All of a sudden you're sitting there and, you know, it's not a 9-point gap. I think it would have been a 6-point gap because they did end up scooping up the one, but like 6-point gap, Calgary still has 10 games to go. You don't know when Connor McDavid's back. There would have been some questions. What the Oilers did is they went out and they just silenced that. It was like, okay, everyone take a deep breath. They are still very, very good. And you know who else is still very, very good? One Leon Draisaitl, big number 29. After the Oilers go down 2-1 in the third period, Leon Draisaitl does the little hop on, boys, I got you.
Yeah.
That tying goal from the feed from Nurse to the neutrals, or the play from Nurse to break up the rush, get it to Bouchard. That Evan Bouchard pass is the best pass I've seen an Oiler make since Evan Bouchard set up Connor McDavid, 10 days ago for his streaking goal.
Mhm.
But the feed from Bouchard to Draisaitl was incredible, and Leon Draisaitl just absolutely making no mistake on the finish, and he was nice and fired up after, which was great. I've been saying that.
Oh, geez, Waz, what an entrance.
Did you just see how clutch I caught that?
Yes.
That was a great catch.
Yeah,
Waz needed to do that.
Waz just needed to walk it and knock over all the lights.
Leon Draisaitl showing some emotion after the goal. I've been saying for a while, I'd like to see this team celebrate their goals a little bit more, play with not more passion, but maybe just show that passion a bit more. Draisaitl, 50th of the year, incredible return to the lineup for number 29.
He had 8 shots.
That's crazy.
He had 8 shots. Yeah, man. Like it, you know, did he come back earlier than he needed? Who knows? But he came back at a crucial time. And yeah, you're right. He just said, okay, hop on my back, boys. We've got this. And he delivered.
Yeah.
That just, man, like this just shows why like him and Connor can just drag us to the Stanley Cup Finals. Doesn't even matter what's going on around him. Like Leon plays like that. Yeah. That's like playoff Leon. You get Connor, like, God, he's a horse, man. He's a German horse. Whatever the word for horse is in German, he is that.
He was a lock to get an anytime goal Saturday night for 50. BOA, come on, Hockey Night in Canada. That was a lock.
Yeah, he shows up.
I did play that on Bet365. Also,
you want to know a fun fact? Draisaitl actually translates to 3 saddles in German. So
Really?
he is a horse that can carry 3 people.
I didn't know that. And hey, there have been stretches this year where he has been carrying
A horse
some people
in
as well.
German is preferred. P-F-E-R-D. So there you go.
We're learning a lot of German.
He's our preferred German for sure.
He is. Leon Draisaitl, Aaron said it, locked to score number 50, but how about scoring 51 as well to wrap up this hockey game in overtime on a Saturday night in Edmonton? The league's MVP puts the Oilers ahead. And listen, if you listen to Oilers Nation Radio, you heard me earlier in the week being like, I was doing a little like, hold the line. We're watching Leon Draisaitl's Hart Trophy odds because at one point he was minus 200. Yeah. And then he gets hurt and he shoots all the way to plus 500. And then I wake up the morning after the Oilers win, and on Bet365, Leon Draisaitl was already back to plus 120. His odds shift that hard with his 2-goal performance. Once again, shout out to our friends at Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win is a barn burner. Every face-off, hat-trick, power play, shot on goal, and penalty shot, every suspenseful moment in between is amazing. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. But Jay, listen, he carried that team to a massive, massive victory. He's got 51 goals now on the season. Our guy NHL Sid had a great tweet. Here is the full list of active NHL players with 4 seasons of at least 50 goals and 50 assists. It's only Leon Draisaitl. Sidney Crosby does not have 4 of those. Connor McDavid does not have 4 of those. The 50-50 club is exclusive, and it's exclusive because it's only Leon. What else can you say?
Well, what can you say?
It's hard not to put him, like, he can be he is in the conversation of best player in the world. He just plays with Connor McDavid on a team with Connor McDavid. He is, but you got to consider him in that conversation. Like, it's McKinnon, it's McDavid, and it's Draisaitl.
I think it
Like
absolutely
he proved
is.
on Saturday that he can be the best player in the world.
Well, and then you just kind of layer in, and I know everyone, again, understandably so, you look at regular season stats and all of that kind of stuff. But with Draisaitl, there's just that added wrinkle of, oh, no one elevates their game more in the postseason than Leon Draisaitl.
Yeah.
And like over the last couple of seasons, sure, you could maybe sit and be like, has he been underwhelming in the regular season? I wouldn't even maybe call it underwhelming, but there's always that conversation of like, and it's the meme where from October till April, it's like, is Leon Draisaitl even a top 10 player in the world? And then from April till the end of the playoffs, it's he might be the best player in the sport.
And he plays through injury.
Yeah,
in those moments.
He's the definition of gamer. Like he is a gamer.
And if he's going to be 100% healthy for these playoffs, and if he has the ability to elevate again in the playoffs, he could put a whole new meaning to the term supernova. So Leon Draisaitl was absolutely incredible. So that brings me to my one big take for Service Credit Union. The Service Big Share Contest is back. It's your chance to win $1 million just by saving money. Every $500 you save gets you 5 entries into the Service Big Share Contest. Rules apply. Contest closes April 30th, 2025. So we're heading into the final month here. Head to service.ca/win for more information. Leon Draisaitl is the MVP, only active player with 4 50-50 seasons. We just talked about that, but yet still some will sit and poke holes in his Hart Trophy candidacy, and they will say, look at what Nathan MacKinnon had to do earlier in the season. Leon Draisaitl gets to play on the same team as Connor McDavid. So I went and looked into the numbers because I do think people quite often talk out of two sides of their mouths when they try to diminish what Leon Draisaitl is doing by bringing up that Connor McDavid factor. Why do Connor and Leon get punished for each other, but Cale Makar and Nathan MacKinnon never get punished for one another? And I think there are people who are quick to be like, Cale Makar, far and away the best defenseman in the world. And he is. You cannot argue that. He could probably win the Norris every year if voter fatigue wasn't a thing, and I stand by that. But the fact that everyone's so quick to be like, Connor gets to play with Leon, Connor gets to play with Leon. At 5-on-5 this year, Leon, I should say, has been with Connor for 406 minutes. Leon has been without Connor for 751 minutes. He has spent almost twice as much time away from McDavid at 5-on-5 as he has with him. Let me give you MacKinnon and Makar. Nathan MacKinnon has been on the ice with Cale Makar for 873 of his 5-on-5 minutes. He's only been away from Cale Makar for 390 of his 5v5 minutes. And I went and looked at the difference from when Connor is with Leon compared to when he's not. And yes, the goals for percentage drops a little bit. It also drops quite a bit for MacKinnon when he's not with Makar. And the point I'm trying to make here isn't that like, Makar is a scrub away from MacKinnon. He's not. I'm not trying to say that Leon is, way, way better when he doesn't play with Connor, because he obviously is better when he plays with Connor. But the fact is you can't use the 97-29 thing as a reason to diminish Leon Draisaitl's MVP case. No. If you're going to then point to Nathan MacKinnon and call him the MVP.
Like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But there's you just lay the numbers. The body of work stands on its own there. It tells you that he drives play and performs well without McDavid. And we have the luxury of pairing those two together. So of course we do that. That also tells me that, man, we're taking lots of penalties if they've got so much ice time together.
Well, that too. And then how about this? This is courtesy of Natural Stat Trick, tremendous stats resource. At all strengths, Leon and Connor have been on the ice together for 63 of Leon's 104 points. So, Jay, you're the numbers guy. Roughly 60%.
Yeah, roughly 60%.
Right around there, right?
Right around there.
MacKinnon and Makar have been on the ice together for 81 of McKinnon's 109 points this season. Jay, numbers guy, roughly 80%.
Yeah, roughly 80%. You're this guy. Human calculator over here.
Get one shot of fireball in me, and
I saw it on the flight down. I was looking at Tyler, and it was very weird. He raw dogged the whole flight, but he was staring also at like a multiplication table.
Yeah,
like he's really trying to become a student of the craft of math.
Grind never stops. 6 by 6, 36. Boom.
What's 7 by 7?
49.
Bang, attaboy.
You weren't sure. You looked at me.
But anyways, my one big take, and listen, I'm going to fire up the chat here, and I don't think anyone is going to be disagreeing with me because this is Oilers Nation every day. He is the MVP. If Connor Hellebuck's having a great season, but is Connor Hellebuck having such a great season compared to other goalies historically that he deserves to be the MVP? Like, I think somewhere there's a case for it, but that then needs to, like, a goalie needs to be so good that he can transcend how you view the award, how you view the Hart Trophy.
Yep.
Hellebuck's been amazing, but he hasn't been that. This isn't a 938. Like,
he's 9-2. You have to be a 9-3 something, I think.
I agree with that. So if I had a ballot right now, it might have Hellebuck at 2. It probably has Hellebuck at 3. But I'll be honest, my ballot, depending on how things play out here, because we're getting close to the playoffs, and we'll talk about the playoffs in a little bit, my ballot might include Zach Werenski above a guy like Connor Hellebuck as well, just because he's been so important to what the Columbus Blue Jackets have had going on. But again, Leon's the MVP. There's no question. It's plus 120. Connor Hellebuck is the odds-on favorite there. But I just don't see a world where he shouldn't win it. And I get that you can sit here and point at the injuries, but I mean, I don't know. The way he returned to the lineup, it's not like he missed 20 games.
Yep.
He's the MVP.
Yep.
Tyler, do you have a Leon future on MVP?
I didn't end up placing it because I was waiting. Then I forgot before the game.
Plus 450.
You got it.
Like November.
Oh, wow.
Let's
You've
go.
been writing for a while.
Atta boy.
Yeah, that is legit. We're
The
gonna
patience you need to have for futures bets.
I have so many baseball futures this year. I didn't play fantasy baseball, so I used that as a justification
crazy.
to just put like $200 in future bets down.
Nice.
Doesn't make a ton of sense, but whatever.
Makes sense to you.
Yeah, that's
The things we do to justify our decisions.
Yeah, we're gonna do an episode of Real Life later on today. So if you want I had one more point actually on the Draisaitl and McKinnon thing. I saw someone comment on one of our posts saying McKinnon had to carry AHL line mates for the first half of the season. His most common line mate his most common forward line mate, line mate, is Arturi Lehkonen. Leon Draisaitl's is Vasily Podkolzin. That's the nail in the coffin right there of the whole MVP case.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Waz spilled coffee on his shirt.
Of course.
Waz did spill coffee on his shirt.
No,
He was also just massaging my shoulders.
Waz is having a morning.
Waz, say hi.
The vibes are good here. I see a bunch of Nation citizens hanging around. Mainlander Tim, Lance Kane, Brad Stabenko. Everyone's in the pool having a really good time.
I can't help it. I just keep watching the game.
How we doing?
Baseball game behind
You
me.
got a bet on the White Sox right now?
No, but
Twins.
I will.
We're riding the Twins. We're also on the over in that Milwaukee game. 0-0 top of the first.
Tyler
there's
pulled out
writing.
3 tickets before the show today.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
he's ready to go.
I'm ready to go. Last night was again a pretty tame night. I was as lame as it is to admit, but I know I'm not alone on this trip. I was in bed by 11:30 last night.
I sent my good night text at 10:16. And yeah, so I was a little bit after that. I had grandiose plans of watching a movie. I don't even think I saw the opening credits.
I think I made it through like 10 minutes of a South Park episode. Also, I really hope that YouTube, maybe we just gotta like do this once in a while so that YouTube doesn't like take us down. Do we? Oh, that's a good one.
Got him, dog. I got him.
But do we have express written consent of Major League Baseball? I don't think so. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but it's far enough back in the distance. Oilers in Vegas tomorrow. The gap for top spot in the Pacific is still very, very wide. It's 9 points with only 9 games to go, but that is partially because Vegas just won't stop winning.
They have so annoying.
6 games in a row. They have points in 9 of their last 10, 7-1-2 in that stretch. And yes, the Oilers have kind of just scooped up points here and there over the last little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Like, honestly, if you're Edmonton and you were to go 9-0, that would get you to 18 points. 18 plus 89 is 107. Vegas would only need 9 points in their final 9 games to pass you because they are going to hold the tiebreaker. They have 12 more regulation wins than the Edmonton Oilers. So they're going to hold the tiebreaker. They'd only need 9 points. So even if the Oilers are perfect, Vegas would simply have to go 5-4 in their last 9, and they would still win the division.
Yeah, so we had a rough second half.
Yeah, the dip was harder than the dip should have been. Or
yeah,
we would have hoped it would have been.
But you know what you do when there's a dip? You buy that shit.
You buy that dip.
You buy that dip.
Absolutely.
I want my chips with the dip.
Chips with a dip. They are only 2 points back of the LA Kings, by the way, for the second spot, which I think is kind of where you target. But there was an interesting question in the Monday mailbag. Read it every Monday at Oilersnation.com. That was, if you had a choice, if you could hit 2 buttons, 100% healthy or second seed in the division.
You don't care.
You're not rushing back.
Just get into the playoffs.
You're not rushing back in Ekholm.
No.
You're not rushing back a Connor McDavid. You're not even rushing back probably a Stuart Skinner, although maybe there's a bit of a case with Skinner that you'd want him to get a couple games in before the end of the regular season just to kind of get his feet back under him. But you're not rushing anyone back for coming in second. If you have to go to LA, and this isn't even me coping, if you have to go to LA, it is not the end of the world. You just hope that series doesn't go 7, but I don't think it would.
Even if it does, who cares? Just get into the dance. Yeah. That's why I'm not too concerned. They're going to wake up. We're going to be healthy. Play it smart.
Yep.
Are you worried about the Kings' home record? 27-4-4. That's insane.
In the regular season.
Yeah.
Nice.
The one thing, like 27-4-4, they are 14-9-5 away. So 14-24 straight up away from the crypto.com arena. But again, then like, am I worried that the Oilers won't be able to go and steal a game in LA and then come back on home ice and smoke them twice? Like, no, I'm not concerned about that at all. If anything,
Over in 6.
Yeah, maybe having home ice for game 6 would actually help you in this scenario.
Yeah, we win it in 6, and then we go and flood the streets.
Yeah. Let's continue along.
The chat's loving the people behind you.
Are there people behind us?
Oh, look at Milan. Look at this vibe.
Come on in.
What a unit.
Someone said jean shorts. Those aren't even jean shorts. That's a jeans.
Wow.
Oh, my.
And he's got the cutoff dildo brewing flannel.
That is
Mainlander
unbelievable.
Tim is such a
He's a
beauty.
vibe.
He's unreal, man.
He's got the shades down. God, I love that guy.
That is good. That is good. Jorts. Yeah, everyone was talking about that. I'd prefer to open in LA. Yeah, I mean, I think there honestly is a little bit of a case with all of that. Yeah.
Tyler, will you jump in the pool today?
No,
Or tomorrow?
It is way too windy today. Maybe tomorrow.
Too
Maybe
windy to
tomorrow.
jump in the
I'll
pool?
jump in the pool.
I don't know. I'm chilly as it is.
But the pool's nice and warm.
Fully clothed. Go.
The pools are fully clothed too. Tomorrow, if I dress properly, maybe that'll work.
That doesn't make any sense.
We do have a little bit of news today from the Edmonton Oilers. There's been some rumblings over the last week or so that they're going to get into the college UFA and European free agent game.
Because we don't have a choice.
Yeah, because they desperately need players who are on cheap deals. But Edmonton signed a defenseman from Ohio State.
The Ohio State.
The Ohio State University.
Go Buckeyes.
Damian Carfagna. It's a 2-year ELC, 22-year-old blue liner, played in 72 games, had 34 points in that stretch. So there you go. They signed a defenseman from Ohio State. I know, excuse me, Tyler Mulick. Tyler Mulick put in the chat, asked us if we talked about it. I have, again, nothing to talk about with him. I have never seen that guy play hockey, but I figured I'd pass along the news. Ryan Spotkowski is in, donated $5 to the Ben Stelter Foundation, and then donated another $5 to the Ben Stelter Foundation saying, jump, jump, jump. Shout out to the
I'm
Ben
with you,
Stelter
Ryan.
Foundation. Tomorrow, I'll set a super light goal, and then I'll jump in the pool.
I will jump in the pool no matter what.
Super
know.
light
We
goal?
will look at
Okay,
that.
I'm going to set the goal for you. 5.
No.
Jay, we've already hit that. Let's go. Ty, jump in.
I will set the goal tomorrow. Maybe we'll end our Short for Giant Game Day edition of,
With a giant splash.
with a giant splash. There you go.
Whoa.
That's not bad at all. All right. So, Southpaw, Mainlander Tim just sold me on going next year. Well, now he's got a bucket of beer with him as well.
Look at this guy.
A vibe, dude. A straight up.
It's very cold.
I could take one of those.
Hey, Aaron's trying to not knock over the lights. Good stuff. That's great. We're having a great time.
It's
out
not
here in
Nation
Vegas.
Beer Everyday
It's-
Lager, but it'll do for now.
I'll tell you, like, Mainlander Tim does sell the trip. Because once you come here on a trip with him, you would just want to hang out with him more.
Yeah, you really do. Yes, cheers, Aaron. That's a crispy cold Corona. What time is it? 11. It is. It's 12:30 back home.
Yeah, in lieu of Nation Beer in Vegas, because we're not here,
Yeah.
you have a crispy boy Corona.
Debated trying to sneak one into my check bag. No, I'm just kidding. All right, let's do a little playoff report for our friends at Sherwood Ford, the Giant and Nation Valet Service. Never visit the dealership again for your routine car maintenance. They can come, whether you're at home, whether you're at work. They can pick up your vehicle, drive it in, do the oil change, do whatever needs to be done, then drive it right on back to you. Sherwood Ford, the Giant hockey fans, helping hockey fans. Giant game day edition of the show.
I'm booked for
Coming tomorrow.
Thursday, just so everyone
really?
knows. Yep.
Nice. I need to get the truck in as well. It's due for an oil
Yep.
change, and I want to use the valet service. Playoff race report. The St. Louis Blues might never lose again.
They are hot,
9 in a row.
and Dylan Holloway is a big factor there, which is annoying because I love that guy, and I love my Dylan Holloway white jersey. But yeah, they're hot.
You
They're
should
hot.
tell the people about what jersey you wore in the airport yesterday.
Oh, I did. I picked up a new crisp white jersey for this trip.
Yeah, who's on the back, Jay?
It's one of our new additions, who I believe is going to be an X. My hot take for the playoffs is this guy is an X factor to our playoff success, and that is Trent Frederick.
But here's the thing: we have literally nothing to base that on because he hasn't played, and he might not play in the regular
Hopes
season.
and dreams, Tyler. I'm basing it on hopes and dreams, and the fact that he's a first-round pedigree player, and he's probably going to get a chance in the top 6. He's not a top 6 player, but he's going to get a chance in the top 6, and he can perform, and he's going to be that meat and potatoes that we need up front.
And he's a dog.
He's a dog.
With a
So
W,
we
a
got a
dog.
second Hyman. Like, They're not the same.
Yeah.
But
Speaking of
more
Hyman,
dogs is good.
Shout out our boys.
What chaos. Yeah, their interview with Zach Hyman is going to drop tomorrow, I believe. They had a chance to sit down with the Oilers forward. So Pete and DJ really making the most of their trip to Edmonton. Let's talk about that for a little bit. Having those guys in town was an absolute blast.
Yeah, they're such good dudes. Just to start with that, and then also what they do is also great. So it was good to have them in town. They got to witness a once-in-a-lifetime winter storm, and they loved it.
Yeah, Pete was all over it. He loved it. Like when we were complaining about the snow, he was like, enough about the snow. No one cares.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. We had a couple good nights at Greta with them, and then they got to go to the game, and Leon delivered for them. They were super excited.
Oh, that was such a great way for them to finish things off.
Yeah. Like overtime victory. Like that's Like the building was popping. The third period, like the vibes in Rogers were electric.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I turned myself up too much there.
My God.
I know. The people wanted me a little bit louder. There you go. That's probably a good spot. That was crazy loud for this.
Yeah.
Almost blew my ears out. Hey, Brett's here. Hey, Brett.
Yeah.
Can I just do a quick check? Oh, my God. How are the Twins down 3-0? Are you kidding me?
Because you should have bet.
Because I bet on them, yeah.
Should have bet on the White Sox.
Is everyone just watching Mainlander Tim in the background? We got a great crew hanging out around the pool right now, actually. It looks
tarps are off.
Tarps are off.
Tarps are off.
Edition of Real Life?
Perhaps. From the pool.
Why not? Liam's going to swing by and join us in a little bit back home from Edmonton. But first, we were doing the playoff race report. And,
I haven't made my bet.
For when?
Oh, it's tomorrow.
The game is tomorrow, Jay. Yeah.
If I'm on the show, I'm used to the betting segment.
Yeah, that's true.
Wires are crossing.
Yeah, we got to make it. You're going to have to go for the juice tomorrow, Jay.
I'm chasing it.
Let's go.
I'm chasing it.
Playoff race report. Calgary's path to the playoffs now a little bit more complicated following their overtime loss. And honestly, their best path is probably to catch the Minnesota Wild at this point, who are continuing to stumble and still haven't been able to get fully healthy. Calgary 7 points back of the Minnesota Wild with 2 games in hand.
Yeah,
so they
plausible.
They could shrink it to 3, but at that point it'd be 3 with only 8 games to go. Vancouver is 6 points back of St. Louis, and they are 6 points back of Mini as well. Those two teams now tied. But I feel like for Calgary and Vancouver now to get in, their path is probably more than likely going to have to be catching Minnesota. We did get an interesting question in the YouTube chat because, again, it does feel like all signs pointing towards one of St. Louis or Minnesota are going to be on Edmonton's side of the bracket. They're going to get that matchup, as expected, with the Vegas Golden Knights. Is there one of the two that you think would have a better chance of upsetting Vegas? Between Mini and Mini, I feel like would match up in a similar way to them in the sense that they can play that big grind you down style of hockey.
Like St. Louis doesn't have Parayko.
Well, he might be back for round 1.
Oh, okay.
Or was that just a right? I think they said he'd be reevaluated in 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's something that it's not as long as we thought.
Yeah.
But once again, who knows?
They might get Parayko back.
Also, Binnington X Factor.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? He can they've got the goalie, but also Vegas can have the goalie too sometimes. Between the two, you would say St. Louis has the best chance.
Yeah.
It's hard not to, and they're hot. They're getting hot at the right time, right? So if they go into a crazy amount of confidence and playing for one another and willing to go to war, like they can do it.
It pains me to say it, but they got this weird team of destiny vibes
Yeah.
going on right now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I said that.
They're playing Gloria again.
They are. Over in the East, the Montreal Canadiens find themselves in the driver's seat. 77 points. They are tied with the Rangers, but have a game in hand on them. Columbus still in the mix, but Columbus isn't in the spot right now where they would hold the tiebreaker. That actually goes to the New York Rangers. So that is really, really interesting as well to see.
Rangers, man, what a
disaster.
What a disaster.
Yeah,
they need an exorcism.
They do. I don't know what's going to happen there in the summer. I would imagine that they don't sit still in the Big Apple when things go as bad as they have this season. But Montreal or Columbus. Columbus got the team of destiny, but seeing playoff games in the Bell Center is kind of cool. I don't mind that.
The fans can drag them in.
I'm good with either one of them.
Yep.
One of them could end up getting the Toronto Maple Leafs, who all of a sudden find themselves in the driver's seat for the top in the Atlantic as well. This is honestly shaping up to, I think.
I know. Leafs sends round 1.
Leafs sends with the Tampa-Florida series as well. And then it would be Washington-Montreal, similar to, remember when Montreal did the 8v1 matchup? I think it might have been the last time the Capitals won the President's Trophy as well. It was the Halak year where he just had an unbelievable run. So the storylines in the East are shaping up to be unbelievable. If the playoffs started today, out west, it'd be Winnipeg, St. Louis, Dallas, Colorado, obviously amazing. Vegas,
That's good for us.
Yeah, Vegas,
That's very
mini,
good for us.
and then LA, obviously, Edmonton once again. So there's your playoff race report for our friends over at Sherwood Ford. The Giants, speaking of the Capitals, Ovi inching that much closer to the record, 5 away. We thought he scored another one yesterday too, but PLD just deflected it in.
Yeah, it's happening.
What else is going on?
Was just wandering aimlessly in the background.
As he does.
Yeah.
As he does.
That's our boy.
Mistaken Mexican. Damn, Oilers Nation, really wish I was there. I mean, man, you got to come on one of these. It's so much fun. Like hanging around with Oilers fans.
We're not going to stop doing them. So
No.
minute the schedule comes out, we will let you know.
Maynard, I took 2 weeks off when the playoffs begin because I'm pathetic. Speaking of time off during the playoffs, we were talking with the Utah boys yesterday.
Yeah.
We got to get them up for another playoff.
I know.
They're
I
the
know.
best.
It's so good to see him. Goat and Little Bro.
Goat and Little Bro.
Such good people.
Yeah, they were awesome. Isaac Waz is wearing a full fit to the pool. Where's the sandals and shorts? That's a good point
He's
as
wearing
well.
shoes and socks. I guess I'm wearing shoes and socks. I didn't put my slides on.
It is quite windy.
It is super, super windy, as you can kind of tell. I'm sure you're hearing a little bit of it on the YouTube, but I haven't seen anyone complain about it, so that is good. Liam's going to swing by in a little bit. We're going to talk to him a little bit more about the game on the weekend. Someone asked in the chat, who do you start tomorrow? You're obviously starting Calvin Pickard.
Yeah. Cal's our pal.
Yeah, there's absolutely
Big game.
no doubt about that.
Big game.
Yeah. So you win that. I mean, we did the math. Vegas is just so.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
If anything, it can be a little bit of a maybe momentum boost for this team heading into this stretch. But like even that,
Momentum boost for me. I'm being selfish. I traveled. I want to see a win.
I need a
That
win.
fills
I
my
need
cup.
one.
I fills my cup.
yeah, that's
Fill
fair.
my cup.
Cups will be filled for free at the Stella Artois Lounge as well.
Come in.
Oh, yeah.
That could be
We like
So food and booze is included for our ticket?
yes.
beer, wine,
And we have our own bar and
That's
bartenders.
dangerous. That
And
is so
I know. And you know what they say? Never let a good night ruin never let an early flight ruin a good night.
Well, yeah. What time do we have to be in the lobby at?
7.
7.
At least that's 8:00 Mountain. No.
Glass half full.
No.
Yeah.
Yanni M. Do you see Rodrigue? Getting any games on this road trip? I think if they were to ever give him one, like part of the problem is they are still pushing to get home ice advantage. Like there's no way that's not on their minds. There's no way that's not factoring into their decisions as much as we can sit here and debate just how much that would matter. You do have a game against San Jose on Thursday, though.
Yeah.
I think there would be some logic to giving Rodrigue that game because you wouldn't want to look at Pickard and go, hey, you're obviously starting Pickard on Saturday against the Kings, assuming Stuart Skinner isn't ready to go. You probably don't want to run Pickard 5, 6, 7 starts in a row. Like at some point.
And our game on Saturday is at 2 p.m.
Well, and it's a late one. Thursday's
So,
8:30 now.
You know, there's an argument you can say it's a quasi back-to-back.
Yeah.
You know, you
almost.
could.
So the updates quickly on the injury front. McDavid, Ekholm, Stuart Skinner, none of them on the road trip with the Edmonton Oilers, although Chris Knobloch did not rule out the possibility of one or multiple of them coming halfway through the road trip and joining the team for the back end when they're in Southern California for the LA and Anaheim games on Saturday and on Monday. But I honestly like the Ekholm thing. I'm more concerned about Ekholm than I am about Connor McDavid.
Rest him. Yeah. It's obviously he's been fighting something. I have no idea what.
They said managing a lingering issue was the wording they used.
And that thing is, Fighting Amish asked about it. What's the news on Ekholm? The news is that no one knows what's going on except for Ekholm and the team, I guess. But he's been out a lot this year. Ryan Spakowski says in the chat, and that's concerning because again, he is not getting any younger, and that's a summertime conversation that they'll probably have to have. But I do think again, the acquisition of Jake Wallman and him having term is even more significant because if Matthias Ekholm, again, there's no guarantee he's ever going to get back to being the player he was. I think you're kind of hoping he can find that level for the playoffs. And if you manage his minutes and his workload, he can always crank it up in the playoffs. But in terms of the whole regular season, like they might need Jake Wallman might be their top pairing guy next year with Evan Bouchard. That might be the way that has to go because again, Ekholm's just taking a really big step back. Dacky, do you think they rushed him back for the Four Nations and after? Maybe, and maybe there was a part of Ekholm that was like, I really want to go to Four Nations. You're not going to stop a guy from doing that. In hindsight, maybe he shouldn't have played. But then I think maybe there was a part of it where Ekholm coming back from the Four Nations was like, okay, they let me go play in play for Team Sweden. I then can't just be like, I'm sitting out 2 weeks after that. Like, it's a bad look.
Yeah,
so
bad optics. Yeah.
it might have just snowballed a little bit from there. Let's get to the Star Mechanical guest line, Edmonton's #1 plumbing and heating company. You can find out more about them online at starmechanical.ca. They've been one of Edmonton's largest locally owned and operated businesses, and they've been in it since 2000. As we bring in our boy Liam, popping in from his home studio. Liam, anything you want me to bet on for you when we're down here in Vegas? You want me to get through like a physical ticket or something like that of Leon Draisaitl MVP?
The physical tickets are so much
physical
better.
tickets are so sick.
Oh, they stress me out.
No.
Well, there's a huge.
Every time I pull my wallet, it's like
huge,
fly around.
Oh, remember, Liam's here. He's
I
talking.
know.
a big curling game. Can you bet on that for me?
I
Jacobs
actually
versus
highly
Mount.
doubt it.
No,
How's Canada doing at the Worlds?
they are 3-0. They beat up on South Korea yesterday. Crazy story out of South Korea. All 4 players' last name Kim. None of them related.
Wow.
Crazy story.
Liam
Coming out of South Korea.
Liam and those fun facts.
Yeah,
lately,
Liam
dude.
always
He's on
gets us with the
fire.
fun facts.
There you go.
Liam, I want you to rank, like, in order of how many games they will play before the end of the season. Take your guess. McDavid, Skinner, Ekholm, Trent, Frederick. Who plays the most? Who plays the fewest?
Who was it? McDavid, Ekholm, Skinner, and Frederick.
Yeah.
I think Skinner would play the most, so he'll be my #1. Stu.
Wow.
I will say then Frederick, because I think he'll come back next week, or maybe where do they play Monday? The Ducks, and then I will have McDavid, Ekholm.
Interesting. Yeah, I think we'll see McDavid and Frederick play on the 9th against St. Louis. And then my honest guess is we might not see Ekholm back until maybe even that doubleheader against Winnipeg and LA on the 13th and 14th. You might get him for that second home game against the LA Kings. As for Stuart Skinner, I think I could see him maybe getting like that start on the 11th against San Jose, but I think they might even keep him out till then. I think you got to be careful with the head injury.
Is Ekholm skating?
I think he skated without the team. He hasn't been on the ice with the team skates.
Okay.
I know that. Jeff Skinner, 6 hits last game from Southpaw. That was impressive. Victor Arvidsson found the back of the net, Liam. What do you make of just sort of the support cast on this Oilers team continuing to step up the way they did? I mean, Arvidsson with the big goal. Skinner, I thought, again, to the stat line, had a really, really solid game against the Flames. Those kind of middle 6 guys are starting to really step it up. Podkolzin had 5 shots.
He was noticeable.
Yeah, I thought that line with Leon was good of Podkolzin and Arvidsson, but I felt like the Oilers didn't really have much else for themselves against Calgary outside of that line for the majority of the game until Leon decided to drag everyone into the fight and help them get 2 points. But I think overall it's not fair to be disappointed in him during this stretch. I think that Seattle game was a bit too much for them in the sense of like when they got there, the players that were missing, like probably wasn't a good idea to bet puck line that night, if I have to be honest with myself.
Schedule loss. Yeah, puck line for Seattle. Liam, we should have been smarter.
We
it was
should have
right there in front of us. That was a scheduled L. If you looked at the calendar in October, you would have called that a scheduled L going into it. But nope. We're just too positive, aren't we, Liam?
I just can't ever bet against the Oilers. It's the best and the worst of me. There's nothing I can do about it. But they did win. They were winning 1-0 in that game. That was huge. What is Waz up to?
He's just standing in the middle.
There.
Boy, he knows what he's doing.
He loves the camera.
Oh, and yeah, here he comes. Yeah, what do you want? What do you want? Okay.
My question to you guys, Corey Perry practicing what he preaches on Saturday night.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, Liam, we talk about that a lot on the show. Like this team not really being in the fight, not showing a lot of emotion. Perry going and ragdolling Backlund, Draisaitl celebrations. They started to show that a little bit. That might be a sign this team's starting to get a little bit more into it, get their minds right.
I even think Bouchard was in a couple of scrums as well on Saturday, which we haven't seen post, chokehold on Aaron Ekblad that he had in the playoffs. We've not really seen Bouchard do much of that since, but I did appreciate that from him. But I have the same stance on this stuff as I've had for a while now. Like, I love that Corey Perry does all this and he like tries to be engaged, and it is awesome and I love it. But I just want to see other guys do it on a regular basis because there's other players that are more than capable, and we've seen it against the Oilers with these same players in years past, and it's not happened as much. But maybe now that we're getting closer, like we've talked all seasons, like maybe when they get to the playoffs, like they can just flip it and become this new different team. And I think it's like time for that to start happening. There's only 9 games left. You're in such a race for the division with a week that is really going to decide everything, to be honest. This is a huge week for Edmonton. But yeah, I do appreciate it from Perry as always. He's outside of Draisaitl and McDavid, he's basically been the MVP of this team. Third best player, we'll call him.
Let's not forget that we're going to have Trent Frederick and Evander Kane in the lineup for playoffs. So they'll bring some of that truculence. So it's not necessarily asking more from some of the guys. It's just having the guys that do this now in the lineup doing their thing. The one thing I do want to shout out is I do love, like, we have a new turtle, Backlund Turtle Boy.
Yeah.
But I really wish Perry got his guy. He was trying to get Rasmus Anderson. That's
The
a guy.
move he executed on that ref.
Oh, yeah.
Electric.
Yeah,
He might be older, but he's still fleet of foot.
He's
when he needs to
cagey.
do that.
He's cagey. Him and his
Hey.
coffee mugs.
I hate that guy. Rasmus
Inside
Anderson.
baseball there, folks.
Liam, you had a tweet, Liam, that said that Rasmus Anderson is your most hated player in the NHL, I think.
Yeah, only a couple of days after I saying I hated Jason Robinson too. It's been a big week for me. So Rasmus Anderson, it honestly, he could play for Edmonton, and I still think I would hate him because there's the idea of Corey Perry coming to Edmonton, and like we all hated that guy, but like Corey Perry was like an elite player. I think Rasmus Anderson's good, but he's nothing special. That's what makes him number 1. Number 2, out of curiosity's sake, is easily Backlund. That guy also sucks. And then 3, I was split. Obviously, Tkachuk is someone we've hated on this city for a while, but you have to respect how great of a player he is and that he shows up. So Jason Robinson and Tkachuk, 3 and 4, somewhere around there. And also, Philip Deneau easily makes the top 10 list.
Oh,
That guy is supposedly supposed to shut down the Oilers. We've seen it year after year where he just simply does not. So that guy also sucks.
Your heart is filled with hate, Leon.
It is what it is.
Would you give Ollie Rodriguez start here in the next week?
I would play him against San Jose, considering that they're also very bad. And yesterday, LA put up 8 on them. They've started doing that thing where they rotate in the no-name goalies. I don't even know the name of the player that played yesterday, but it reminds me of last season when the Oilers played him and Magnus Krona played. So I'm very curious to see who the San Jose Sharks put out there against the Oilers on Thursday. But I would play Ollie Rodriguez.
well, like I can assure you, whoever it is, Liam, sorry to interrupt, whoever it is, he'll have a career night against us.
No, the Oilers, that's my 2.5 puck line night.
Probably.
No, we're going to win 2-1, and we're going to put up 50 shots.
Romanov.
Mm.
They have Alexander Gorgiev and Georgi Romanov. That is actually
A couple of Gorgies.
a couple of Gorgies. He had a 778, gave up 8 goals on 36 shots. They didn't yank him. Why wouldn't they yank him?
No, he's got to feel it.
Poor guy. Yeah, that sucks.
He needs to know why he doesn't deserve to be in the NHL.
The Sharks are, I mean, predictably kind of just flatlining here towards the end of the season, 3-7 in their last 10. Chicago's only 1-9 too. Jesus. All right, Liam, we'll have you on again tomorrow on the show. We're also gonna.
I got news. Did you see the 2 former Crusaders, Tyler, that signed any ECHL deals?
No, give me names.
Reed Irwin and Will Zappanik both signed together for the Wichita Thunder. So there you go. Both got a goal in their first 7 games. So congrats to those 2 fellas.
Shout out to Reed and Will, a couple of good former Crusaders. Wichita at one point was affiliated with the Oilers. They're not anymore, though, right?
I think they're San Jose.
We're Fort Wayne, aren't we? Fort Wayne Comets.
We are. We're the Fort Wayne boys.
Liam, actually, let me throw you one more. One thing that's been noticeable: Max Jones is barely playing. What did he play? 3 minutes against the Calgary Flames? Like, they are not putting him out there anymore. You know what? Hand up, the oil to the max thing. Maybe that was a bad read by you and I. But one thing that's happening down in Baco is
what about the Condors to the max?
Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at here. Noah Phillips has been playing some pretty good hockey down in Baco. Would you maybe do something like that? Would you swap the 2 of them around?
Yeah, to your first point, oil to the max might have been a bit premature. We could have probably waited for game 3 for that one. But hey, when you
enjoy the moment, it was a moment in time.
Maximum Jones.
It was a moment in time.
You got 7 seconds left in the period. You're going end to end, spinorama to the corner. Like, of course, that deserves what it got, you know? So that was huge. Okay, so there's a wrinkle to the Noah Philp thing, which I'm glad you brought up. Okay. So Evander Kane is on this trip. The Oilers are going to California. I wonder if Evander Kane stays in Bakersfield for a couple of weeks, and that allows them then to bring up Philp or whoever that forward may be to be like, okay, like we're not just going to take another player away from you because you don't have any left. So we're going to give you Evander Kane for whoever it may be. But Philp did play on the top line for them the other night too, which he has not done for a while. And Bakersfield also signed that defenseman today too from Ohio State. Don't know much about him, but they signed him.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier in the show. Like, I mean, if you were to swap Jones and Philp, I don't see a ton of downside there, especially, with no Connor McDavid. You could use, I think, the extra center help and not play Janmark as a center.
Now, when you discuss needing some of that, nastiness, Max Jones does bring that.
Yeah.
So there is that realm that, but once again, he seems like Nobby doesn't trust him. I get that vibe. He's taken some bad penalties, had some bad turnovers, and he kind of feels like he's in the doghouse.
Yeah. Mulick with an idea. He says LTIR McDavid to activate both Frederick and Kane before the playoffs start. The only thing with that is once you do it, you cannot then bring McDavid back and LTIR someone again. Like, if you are going to do that, you are committing Connor McDavid's not playing for the rest of the season, the rest of the regular season.
There's also all three of those players can play games without McDavid going on LTIR. Like I said, if Kane just goes to Bakersfield. And you can make it work. So I don't like that idea, unfortunately, for Tyler.
I get, like, I see the appeal of like giving Kane and Frederick both games, but if it comes at the expense of not being able to give McDavid 2 games, I don't know. Well, Dacky does say why not LTIR Ekholm?
Yeah,
that actually might have some legs to it. Because again, maybe you don't need to give him 2 games.
But are you worried about having to give McDavid 2 games? Like, it's Connor McDavid. Like, it's Connor McDavid. So like, if he needs the time, then play with the hand you're dealt.
Yeah, and I guess we're kind of giving an opinion on something we don't have all the info on. Like, you don't know how severe it is with McDavid or anything like that. Like, if the option is you get Connor McDavid in 1 more game on the 16th, or you can potentially get Evander Kane a full week, maybe there is more benefit to that. And Mulick points out Kane can only be on a conditioning stint for a max of 1 week. I do think there's been a bit more chatter that he'd be open to it. And maybe he's on the road trip because, to your point, Liam, he's just going to stay down in Baco and play a couple of games. So, yeah, we'll see that. But Ekholm's another LTIR candidate, I think. You can probably just run with the 6D man you have or 7D man you have because Klingberg is healthy again. Not a bad idea.
How's Lance doing? How's Lance been enjoying his time?
Good.
Lance is also a vibe.
Yeah.
Lance was a vibe last night. He bought a full pizza at like 2 a.m., I think.
Oh.
Brought it back to his room.
Hell yeah.
I would love a full pizza right now.
I could definitely go for a slice of
I
sauce.
think it's still in his
Liam,
room.
you'll be happy to know I had a banana for breakfast.
How you feeling? Probably pretty great.
Oh, nice.
My potassium levels, my K metrics are high.
Hey, you want to talk about a vibe? Look at Goat.
Goat is here. Oh, look at this shirt.
I'm Jay. Hello,
look at
Jay.
the shirt he's got.
Hello, Jay.
A New Hampshire Jay.
You're VIP. You're allowed in.
Whoa.
Look at that shirt.
Look at that
Goat.
shirt.
Oh, it's got the bagged milk logo on it too.
Damn. Whoa, that is cool.
That is unreal.
That is great. It is Bagged Milk's birthday week.
I got my medallion here. You can't see it come on the screen from when Goat gave to us in
I brought all my
Phoenix.
medallions from Goat as well.
There you go.
Liam's got his on the screen.
We got more.
I like that. Goat's gonna pop. We're gonna give you a headset for real life. All right. Okay. So you stick around. Liam, thank you for popping on, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your
Good to see you, Liam.
Yeah. Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy the sun. I'll be turning up the heat to 21 in my house today.
What's the temperature there, Liam?
I don't know. Cold. How about that? As you guys are wearing sunglasses, I have 2 pairs of pants on inside. Unbelievable.
You're wearing 2 pairs of pants.
I have my long johns and my my Lulus, of course.
Okay. Well, that makes a ton of sense. Liam, enjoy the
It's
cold.
long
See ya, buddy.
John season. Wow. Okay.
Goodbye.
Love you,
Go
Liam.
Canada, go.
Yeah, go Canada at the Worlds. Tyler Mulick goes, it's +3. Yeah. Okay, what else do we still got to do? Actually, I think we got everything crossed off.
What are we betting on today?
Well, to the goddamn.
It's whatever they're showing on the TV. I'm
The
just
Twins
gonna.
are down 7-0.
Okay, I'm
Tonight,
going.
During the show, they have just slowly gone down.
Why don't we bet on the Twins to come back?
No.
What is it live? Can we see on the board? It's only available during breaks. We got to wait till the end of this inning. I don't know. I mean, I'm liking my over pick in KC Milwaukee, but of course I have it parlayed.
Looks
with,
like there's some tennis that we can bet on too. Am I getting
some,
involved in that?
Low level regional tennis.
Yeah.
Get in the mix on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyways, shout out to Circa Stadium Swim for hosting us. Circa's been awesome. Everyone on the Nation Vacation's been awesome. If you want a little bit more talk, I just touched a piece of gross. If you want a little more Nation Vacation talk, find Nation Real Life podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. That is
The uncensored version of the trip. Just kidding.
Yeah, it'll be a little bit more uncensored. That is a wrap, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. YouTube chat, you were fantastic. As always, we will see you all tomorrow right back here noon Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Pacific. Oil up.
Thank you for watching Oilers Nation Every Day. Hit the subscribe button to never miss a show. And for more, visit OilersNation.com.